The Mohawk Valley Center for the Arts in Little Falls presents Local Arts.
Far from this prison.
Before we begin our road trip to Polish heritage, we take a detour through northern Great Britain to Scotland. We learn the art of kilt making from a geology professor. Barb Tewksbury tells us about this traditional garment of the Scottish Highlands.
This prison, I cannot.
About 15 years ago, our daughter decided to start Highland dancing, and she needed her outfit. And I thought if I'd been sewing all my life, I ought to be able to make a kilt. So I went to dance camp with her and went to a Highland dance camp and learned how to make kilts over that weekend and loved it, and I've been making kilts ever since. In addition to making kilts, I've written a book on kilt making, and I've taken up playing the bagpipes myself. So it now consumes a large part of my life outside of geology. Tartan is a particular kind of fabric, and it's a pattern of crossing stripes, and the proportions of colors vary depending on the tartan. So some tartans are family tartans, and some tartans are commercial tartans. States have tartans, countries have tartans. The U.S. Air Force has a tartan, the U.S. Army has a tartan, and so on. And all of the colors and proportions are different. It's a very old process, and unlike making other kinds of garments where if you're a seamstress, you typically take a pattern and you cut out pattern pieces and sew them together. But with a kilt, you simply start with a piece of fabric that's about 8 yards long and about 24 or 25 inches wide, and you don't cut anything. It's just this long rectangle, and you shape the pleats as you go and stitch the pleats, and by the time you get to the other side of the 28 or 30 pleats that you put in a kilt, the kilt fits somebody across the back, and then the rest of the process takes the edges and shapes them and makes them nice and puts a band on the top and some interfacing in. But it's a very, very ancient process of not cutting pattern pieces, but actually shaping as you stitch.
For more information on the art of kilt making, visit our website, mohawkvalleyliving.com, or for Barb's book, visit CelticDragonPress.com.
Enough